and thank you for subscribing and liking all my videos. And today I'm just here to discuss about personal growth and development. You might be wondering, what is this and why is she coming to discuss this with me, and is it really necessary? And I believe that personal development is something we do experience on a daily basis. Just say it can be conscious or unconscious. You might be experiencing this willingly, like you choose this is what I want, or you're just flowing with life. The same thing is still happening. And I'm just here to say that it's well better when you decide to consciously take the step and put it in your own hands and decide what is really good for you at whatever situation it is. And these are just a list of things that I have written down, the things you need to consider when you're starting your personal development journey. The first thing first is you need to seek healing. You need to seek healing. This is a no-go. Like, you cannot even say, oh, what about if I don't want to, and whatever. The thing is, you must seek healing, because the more you heal, you get to a point where you really accept who you really are as a person. You really don't care about being able to validate yourself, be validated by people. Instead, you'll be validating your own self. You'll be finding peace in your own self. You'll even be dating your own self, not be waiting for someone to come and date you. And healing is a very big part. Healing is a very big part. And it's the most tragic of all the things that I've written down, because for me, mine was bad. I used to cry the whole night. I used to do all those crazy things. And for a moment, I told myself that I need to stop. I need to stop thinking about the things that really hurt me in the past. And just like any other person, for me, the things that hurt me when I was a little child, like anything below 18 years, because that's the time when things were rough for me. Even though when I was also in campus, things were a bit rough. I told myself that I need to forget those things. I need to submerge them somewhere where I'll never remember. And the bad part is, I never knew that when you push things in your subconscious mind, they actually show up in real life. Just not like that, but even a way that is even worse. So for me, just like most of the people who have suffered from child abuse, traumas, and all those forms of abuse, and just being criticized and all those things, you're not even able to like really know who you are, what you want, because everyone tells you what you're supposed to become, and you keep chasing this person, another person, until it reaches a point where you feel like, now I'm done. So for me, I was at a point where I was done, and I signed up for therapy, and I only went for 3 sessions only, because of course the money wasn't really enough for me to be doing so many sessions, because therapy is very expensive. And after I did the 3 sessions, I felt like I needed to really work on myself, because I was told during therapy that I really need to remember the things that happened. For me to feel better, I need to remember whatever happened, whatever it was, whether it was bad, good. I had to put this thing, I was even told to take a piece of paper and a pen and write down all the things that usually hurt me, or they used to hurt me when I was young. And this was very horrible, guys, because I had to remember all the bad things that people ever did to me, the things that I had chosen not to remember, my own peace. Instead, it wasn't peace, it was even worse. And through this whole journey, I started to at least get to love myself. I started taking care of myself. I started to try like things that I was scared to try, like content creation. I started to like find peace in the fact that this is who I am, and I cannot change that, and no one else can do that. Only God can do that. And I was so lost. Like, I didn't even have confidence. I didn't even have like the ability to hold a camera in front of me and talk. Most of the time I was always thinking, what will people say? What will they like get from this? What will they like, whatever it is. So healing became a very big part of all this. I had to acknowledge that life is what happened, and that's what happened. And I had to tell myself that I need to work on it. I need to find a way to put things straight and just like forget about things as I forgive. Not like I literally just put them at a point where I never had to open them. And what really pushed me to do this is the fact that I've had a rough year in 2023. Like in 2023, I experienced a very bad breakup, and at the same time, I lost my dad, and that was like something that pushed me to like understand that it's too tough for us to continue, and you need to find a way to get better. So that is what pushed me to think of what can I do for myself, because I'm at the point where I feel bad. Like I just feel like, and nothing was working out for me. Remember, nothing was really working out for me. Even any stupid single plan, whatever plan I planned, it never really happened. I used to have so many plans in my head, but nothing ever came to a reality, until I had to start to wonder what is wrong with me. And sometimes we keep telling ourselves, oh, we are cursed or whatever. Stop telling that to yourself. And one thing you should also know is that whatever you tell yourself is what you'll become. And the truth is only what you tell yourself. It doesn't matter 50,000 people come and tell you, no, that's not the truth. As long as you have that mindset and you told yourself this is what it is, it will become it. And after I knew this thing, I crumbled. Guys, I crumbled. I went through a lot of phases where I had to remember the things that happened to me. I had to acknowledge that they did happen to me, but I didn't deserve that. And I had to tell myself that I deserve better. And it wasn't an easy journey, but I had to get things that will help me. Things like taking self-care, taking care of yourself, self-love, and just like buying yourself things, being able to compliment your own self. Like I will literally post my own picture complimenting myself. Yeah, and then I will literally get myself some gifts. I will plan some whatever, like a date, or maybe just somewhere going out, then I will go. So it was quite of a journey, and I really struggled so much and all that, but I'm so happy that it's getting better every single day. And also one thing you need to know when you start your healing journey is that it's not one touch, like, and you're gone and you're done and you're healed. It's a whole process, because for me, I believe my journey started back in 2020, and still I wasn't really able to get better until this year is when I started to feel a bit different, because I was also in denial. That is one thing that I know most people are in denial, because I was also in denial. I was also telling myself, like, you know what, whatever happened to me is not my responsibility. People did this and they have to come and clean up. I always blame those people. This didn't really like became a blame for only those people. I kept blaming people for everything, and I realized I'm not taking any accountability, and this will lead me to a very bad place in my life. So I had to restructure and restart again. So the first thing was healing. I hope you remember. Then the second thing I also had to learn was growth is an expanded compound structure. It is just not growing up, being tall, adding weight. No. Growth and development is a very huge topic. And I will actually be talking about this every single day, because I'm interested in these things. It's just everything that I ever wanted to talk about. And for me, I always believe that we are made up of 3 dimensions. We do have the body, we do have the soul, and we do have the mind. And when it comes to growth and development, it actually means that you need to work on the 3 dimensions. You're not only going to work on one thing, because most of us only focus on the physical appearance, how we look and all those things. Yet we totally forget that we need to work on so many things, not just how we look. For me, I was doing none of those. I wasn't doing any of those things. I wasn't doing any of I don't know, like taking care of myself mentally, psychologically, whatever. I was just living life because life had pushed me to that point where I was just living, pushing myself through it, and just holding on because that's the only thing that I had at that point. That's what I thought. And when I started this whole journey, it didn't become like a plan. It wasn't a plan for me. The beginning of this year, I think the way people write down, this year, this is what I want for myself, this is what I need for myself, and blah, 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 blah. And here to tell you that manifesting is a real thing, and whatever you tell yourself is what it becomes. for me, I wrote down that 2024, I just need to lose weight. That was the first thing I wrote down. The second thing I wrote down was I need to find inner peace. I need to find calm and quietness in life. I just want to be in a position where I can actually enjoy life despite what was happening. And this was not as easy as that, because I went through a lot to be pushed to a point where I had to accept that, you know what, you need to find a solution. And because there is no solution like for everything, at least you can put yourself in a position where you can actually handle things, or you can just find things more manageable for you. So I had to push myself to that point where I actually find things more manageable. And I am so happy that I really did this for me, because I had to do a lot of self-work. I had to do a lot of journaling. I had to do a lot of crying. I had to do a lot of writing. I had to do a lot of confrontation. I had to ask myself why and how and why am I alive? You know, all those questions where people tell you, don't ask that question because when you ask, it's very wrong. I had to tell myself, now it's time for me to ask those questions because I don't care anymore. Because at this point of my life, if I do not ask myself such questions, then it means that I'll suffer the rest of my life. And for me, nothing scares me like suffering. Suffering, I will do anything to not suffer. In as much as life is, the way people say, hard, for me, I am moved past that part where I say life is hard. I want to talk to myself positive things, and I want to tell myself all the positive things in life so that they can keep coming to my life. And I can tell you for sure, for the last 5 months of my life, it's been a quiet ride, a slow and quiet ride. I don't know how I can explain more, but I just feel like I was always moved by emotions. I was always moved by what people say. I was always moved by what is happening, you know, the trends and all those things. And once I came to a realization that this life is mine to live, this journey is mine to take, and whatever is happening around me does not really have to affect me, in as much as, oh my god, that's bad, whatever, but I have to come back to a point where I'm back to myself, because if I'm not back to myself, I might chase whatever it is until forever, because I know myself. I'm very persuasive. Like, I can't stop when I start to do something. I just want to go and go and go and go and go. And once I realized that I was actually chasing so many wrong things, I had to come back to myself and tell myself that I need to relax. Another thing that I also learned is about validation is you need to validate your own self. You need to wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, you know what, I'm very beautiful, I am amazing, I'm so strong, and I'm just deserving of everything good. And the moment I started doing these things, first of all, it was very crazy, because this is something new. How do you expect me to get used to it very fast? So I started telling myself, you know what, you're so beautiful, no one should even tell you nothing, you're very beautiful, you're very amazing, and all those things. I started to listen to affirmations. I started going to the gym because I was so uncomfortable in my own skin. I was always feeling like I'm so huge, like, you know, who is this woman? And one thing that really hit me so deep, I was in a matatu, I was going to town, and then some conductor, au makanga, just said to me, "When mama umelipa fare." And that thing really hit me so hard, like, you know, like, mama, like, how big am I? Like, how big am I? And I think from there, that's when I started to feel even bad, even though I used to know that I had gained weight. But the fact that somebody had to shout it in my ears, you know, that was bad. And I can't really blame him or whatever. People are different. People address people differently. And I just feel like, for me, maybe it was necessary. It was necessary for somebody to shout in my ears. Maybe I didn't really understand what I needed to do. So after that, I kept talking to myself and thinking, like, it's time. I've been planning to go to the gym, but it's time for me to actually go to the gym. It's time for me to start to plan those morning runs and do those routines and focus on how I can actually help my own self with my dieting and all those things. And I'm so happy that I've lost over 16 kgs. And it's been a rough patch, because that's the most difficult thing you can ever choose. But it's the most rewarding. It's the most rewarding, because for me, it became so beautiful. And it's still beautiful because you keep working on yourself on a daily basis. That's something that you can never stop. The moment you stop, you lose your everything that you ever had, like things go back to us from maybe 92 to 0. I don't know. You just get to a point where you're like, whatever I was doing was pointless. Then another thing also that I also learned during this whole journey, even though this is something that I also used to know, is that you need knowledge. Knowledge is an ongoing process that you need all the time. It doesn't matter whether you're in school or you're done. It doesn't matter whether you, as long as you are still alive, you need knowledge to survive. And most of the time, for me, I used to read books when I was in high school. And after high school, I was like, I'm done with books. Yeah, and I am here to live life. And I think my campus life wasn't as bad, so I didn't need those books anymore. And we were just cramming and going to the exam room and passing your exam, and then it was so easy. But I think after I finished school, I realized that there was only one thing that used to save me in my past life, and it was knowledge. The moment I started my self-development journey, I started to tell myself also that it's also time for me to go back to my books. It's also time for me to stop watching entertainment videos and start watching videos that show me what is it that I need in life. And just a part of this whole thing, I started to buy myself books. I started to go online and check videos that will make me a better person. And I would go and search how to do this and that, how to take care of my health, how to take care of yourself. Like, I will literally search things that for a very long time I've never been interested in. And I think through all that, I have seen a lot of miracles. I've seen a lot of wonders. And I just keep telling myself, like, this is it. This is what I really wanted for my life. And this is what I was actually granted. And I'm so thankful, alhamdulillah, because, wow, guys, it's a tough journey, but the moment you start to get the rewards, that's when you were like, oh, okay, it's a good thing that I actually took this journey. And then another thing I also learned is goal setting. Goal setting is very important. And before I actually started my self-development journey, I didn't have any goals in my mind. This is crazy. I had goals, but they were not really long-term goals. I only had short-term goals only. And short-term goals are good, but you deserve better. You deserve longer periods. So I think I was affected the moment when I went to campus. I did a course that I really didn't want to do. It was quite a situation. Like, I had to do it because it was a scholarship and something like that. And after I did it, I just felt so lost. And when I came out here, I'm getting to work in schools. I was just out of hand. Like, I was just feeling like this is not the life that I wanted for myself. And for a moment, I will say I actually gave up on my life. And I was just pushing through life until I started this whole journey. That's when I remembered, oh, you had goals before in your life. What happened? So when I started my healing journey, working on myself, I also had to remember that I used to have goals when I was younger. And I told you in one of my videos that the kids I actually found in one of the schools that I taught are the people who actually reminded me that I used to be an ambitious child. I used to be that child who goes for whatever they want and they could get it. And I think after listening to these little children, thinking about their future, just fantasizing and all those things, I just remembered that, oh my God, so I actually lost my own self. I actually lost my goals. And I had to go back to myself and call myself on a small meeting and tell myself, oh girl, you need to do something. And then another thing also I also learned in this whole journey is you need to make sure you put yourself in a position where you're only supposed to have positive energy, positive friends, positive whatever, everything positive. And this means that if you're a person who listens to sad music, because I was a big fan of sad music, I was listening to sad music 24/7. This was me and this is my life. And I didn't really know how bad it was affecting me and how bad it was getting myself in, whatever I was getting myself into. And until I got to start reading about spirituality and how the things we consume literally affect us, and how they are actually recorded on our subconscious mind, and we actually become the things that we have deeply rooted. And that's why it's very difficult to change somebody's beliefs and values. It's very difficult because these are things that are rooted inside, deep inside their brain or in their subconscious mind, and they cannot really like put this like that. And I had to learn that sad music is not a good thing for me, and it was actually destroying me instead of building me. Like, why would I, like right now I'm just like wondering, why would I even take myself to a position where I'm listening to sad things and crying and whatever it was that I used to do, like anyway. And then another thing I also had to learn was I had to learn about mindset. I had to learn that the mindset I had was a result of the life that I lived in my life, in my early life, my teenage life, and just like my early 20s. I had to understand that this wasn't by choice. It was because of the environment, and it was because of the people that I met on a daily basis, be it family and friends and teachers and all that. And that's the mindset that I had to have because of the situation. And after I worked through it, I realized that you can actually decide what you want to believe in. You can actually decide what you want to tell yourself. And again, I'm repeating this, the truth no longer exists. It doesn't exist. The truth is what you actually tell yourself, and whatever you decide to tell yourself is what you're going to become. Saying this because I have like not to be rude or something, I have like a multiple of friends, and these friends have different views on, because we are Gen Zs, you know, we're just coming out of school, and most of us are unemployed. So you find a friend telling you that oh, hakuna kazi, like there's no job, like whatever is happening, and then you just find this person is actually not getting a job. And then there's just one person who is very positive, and they're telling you, you know what, me, I'm ready to do any work, I'm just ready to go out there and look for something to do. And you just realize that they actually find something to do. What I'm just trying to tell you guys is that whatever you tell yourself is what you become. Like, you can no longer escape the truth you tell yourself. The thing you do believe deep down in your mind, and you tell yourself, you know what, there are no jobs in Kenya, there are no jobs in the world, people are suffering, life is hard. You actually become those things. And after I learned this whole thing, I had to spin around. It was a difficult way, especially that I still meet people who still believe that, and I feel like it's quite a rough patch, because it will take me a lot to survive around such people. But I'm lucky that I have learned to actually be myself no matter what happens. And sometimes I always tell myself that at this point of my life, I actually demoted myself from telling people what to do. I just want to live my life, just be happy. And those who feel like whatever I'm doing is okay, it's fine. If those who do not like it, it's okay, because I was a people pleaser and I suffered for that. And I remember, like, when I started being in a relationship the first time, I was just like there because people are there. I don't know, like it was because this guy wanted me. For now, I'm just like wondering, how was I even able to be with this person? Because he's a totally different person, like completely nothing that I could actually say this is something that I wanted. And this is the problem. The problem was I didn't have long-term goals. I didn't have long-term goals. I was just living for whatever. Like, I was just living whatever. Like, life continues and I'm moving and moving. And I think now that I do have a long-term plan, I have long-term goals, I have my life thinking on planning and all that. Those are the things that I never had at that point. There are things that I cannot tolerate. There are things that I cannot tolerate. And I'm so happy that just like God did things for me. I didn't have to fight with my friends to separate with them. I didn't have to say, oh, now I'm tired with friends. Things just happened for me. I just finally found myself alone. I just found myself in a place where I'm just alone. Like, nothing is affecting me, people's opinions, whatever they're thinking, whatever they want. I was just alone to like identify what is it that I now want. And I feel like being on your own, living on your own is very good, because it will help you to get to understand who you really are as a person. Because I feel like on a daily basis, we keep changing. And change is very good, because we need to adapt to every life situation as we move. Like right now I'm 25 years. Maybe the next time I'll be recording a video and talking about another life again. I'll be maybe another age, another day. Today is on a Monday, maybe it will be on a Sunday. Like life is supposed to be experienced the moment it's there. Like whenever today is a Monday, we should feel Monday. We should just be in the Monday, so that when Tuesday comes, we're like, oh, we're done with Monday, let's focus on Tuesday. For me, it was crazy because I was always focusing on the past life. I was like, oh my God, what did I do in my past? What did I say that to someone? Like I could even think this whole thing in the middle of the night and thinking like, oh my God, that was bad, blah blah. Why did I have to go through this? And then I will be here again wondering what happens to my future. Why will this blah blah? And crazy is I'm thinking about my future, but I do not have long-term plans. I just have plans like I need to buy a fridge, I need to buy a cup, like, you know, those simple things that I had for me. Maybe it might not be simple for you. And it was just so easy to deal with what I know. And this is one thing I also learned, guys, about the human brain. And this is what it is. Like the human brain is an organ that is lazy. In as much as it's the source and the power and everything, the brain wants easy things. The brain wants to just tap into something you're used to. And the moment you allow that to happen, you'll never leave your comfort zone. And once I learned this thing, I have been pushing myself so hard. Like, you don't want to work out, you have to go and walk. Like, I just had to like push myself to a point where I felt like I'm being too hard on myself, and then I had to step back. And guys, life is about finding a balance. There's no good, there's no bad, there is no being too disciplined, there is no like letting yourself just be there. You have to find a balance on how you're going to be soft on yourself, be kind to yourself, like treat yourself in a way that you feel like this is good for you. And then also you need to know that discipline is still part of this thing. Like you need to find a balance. I don't know how I can put this, because for me, I always believe like whatever I'm doing is good for me. It cannot be good for person A. It cannot be good for person B or whoever it is. Maybe one person can learn 2 or 3 things along the way. But whatever I'm doing doesn't have to be what you have to do for yourself. Because for me, when I started my journey and I started to work out, I started to drink water, I started to read books, I started to watch informative podcasts and videos online, I started to like try new things, or like going out on myself, taking myself on a date. And I can say it was very hard at first, because these are things that I never like thought for a moment I'll do. And everything new is always hard for your brain. Until your brain gets used to all these things, it becomes a repetitive thing you do on a daily basis. That is when things will become a bit easy. But once you're still starting, it will be a bit hard. And I think for me, what really works out for me is I started to watch a lot of videos of whatever I was working on. And I feel like YouTube has everything. Like all social medias have everything that you need, whatever you're looking for, whatever answers you keep asking people out there. No one is ready to listen to you. No one cares. People are not in the same dimensional realm and mindset the way you are. You need to understand that. You need to understand that the dreams you have are not shareable. Don't share them, because if you tell people, they always think like, this is a stupid girl just thinking some stupid things, and they will come to pass. And once you still have to explain to people like, this is what I really want to do, you need to understand, you will start finding yourself in a position where you're like the same people and you are going back to the same position, because you lose a lot of efforts to explain yourself until you get to a point where you feel like you're not seeing the future as well, and you will give up. I stopped telling people my plans. I stopped discussing anything about my life with anyone. I stopped doing that, and I think it's been a very healthy journey. Because before then, I was always like, you know what, I met this guy. Oh, you know what, I had this fun. You know what, I was always that motione. Like, you know what, where's my friend? Let me call her. Let me text her. It's not like it's bad, but I feel like sometimes not everyone understands whatever it is. You have to find the people who can hold those things. Not everyone has the capability to hold the things you're telling them. Not everyone is as strong as you are, and not everyone is in the same position of life. And that is something that it took me a very long time to understand. And that's why I'm telling myself that I need to record this video for me to tell people how it feels like and how they can actually make things a bit easier for themselves. Because for me, I never had any single person that I could consult or maybe tell them, you know what, this is how I'm feeling and this is what is going on. And this, like, even the people I tried reaching out to, it felt like I was burdening them. And I stopped. And the moment I stopped, it was quite hard. And later on, it became very normal. I started to find more sources online. I started to find even friends that people I don't even know. We just start talking and then things work, blah blah, and then they're just like telling you this is that, and I would actually listen to them and take what it is that I can carry. And also, people listen to people, but only take the things that can actually work out for you. If they cannot work out for you, bye, leave it alone. And thank you for watching this self-development journey. And I just finally realized that I'm not so good with those vloggings and whatever. I'm just so good with talks. I'm just that person who can talk the whole day. And you guys, thank you for listening till the end. Make sure to like my videos, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share with your friends, and be here and ask any questions you need to ask. Like, I'm not scared to talk about any topic, because at this point of my life, I'm just deciding to live this life. Like, let's live this life, let's make it beautiful, because when are we going to make it beautiful? We do not have any other time. So shout out to every beautiful human being supporting my channel and just watching whatever I'm doing here. And hopefully we make 20,000 more videos this year. Bye bye.